Sharpie. What are we going to start with?
So I am going to, let's spotlight this. All right. So this is the materials that we're going to have today. I have a pencil with an eraser. Over here. I have some crayons. So you can have crayons.
And crayons, and I also have markers, and I have scissors and glue, and I have a gold Sharpie, and I have a pencil with a tiny eraser and this big eraser.
Okay, so a pencil will need, if you have crayons, if there's more colored crayons, you want those.
You had 32? I have only 24.
Oh, well, that'll work. That was perfect. So I have my crayons. We'll be using those later. And then I also have a gold paint pen that we'll be using at the end. If you don't have, yes, go ahead, Cactus.
You have a golden paint pen because I have a gold stripe.
Perfect. That will work. So, and we have our blank paper. So today we're going to it's going to look like this at the end. It's a Cactus Twilight scene. And let me.
Does it have to look exactly the same like that?
It does not. And actually, whenever we make artwork, even though we're all going to be kind of following the same instructions, everything is always going to look different. Everyone's artwork is always going to look a little bit different.
Can we also be creative?
Yeah, we're gonna decorate it.
And do it with our own colors?
Well, we're going to try to follow along with the colors that we have, so it kind of looks similar, but it's not going to look exact. So today's Zoom art lesson is from Hispanic Heritage Month. So Hispanic Heritage Month starts on September 15th and it goes until October 15th. And the artist that we're spotlighting is named Inez Alvidres. There we go. I'm very good at her name. So she is a Mexican-born artist, but she lives in Texas now. This is an example of what we're going to be doing. She does a lot of abstract landscapes, and she loves to do tons of different color. And her big thing is that she does gold lines in between her artwork. So I have her website pulled up here. So this is an example of some of her artwork. You see she does love lots of different colors, all the colors of the rainbow. She likes to do a lot of flowers. She has landscapes with trees and backgrounds, and cactus. And this painting here that she has is an example of kind of like we're going to make ours look like today. So it'll be very cool looking. Here's some other examples of her artwork. And you notice she always puts this gold outline around each color. Mm-hmm. And that kind of distinguishes her style from everyone else's. So I am going to share this screen because it'll be a little bit easier instead of watching me draw, although I will keep this over here, if you can see that. I'm going to go along too with the drawing part of it. All right. All right, so can you guys see the step one? Constance, can you see the step one? Mm-hmm. All right, so the first step is we're gonna take our pencil And we have our paper. We're going to have our paper landscape, which is up and down. We're going to draw 3 big circles. We want to make sure our circles are large enough. And we also don't want to do too dark with our pencil because we're going to erase them a little bit afterwards. So you can see we have these 3 circles. We're going to erase these lines in between here. So we don't want to do too dark. And we want to make sure they're big enough because this is the cactus. This is the main focal point of our drawing. So I'm actually going to draw in Sharpie. If I
Can I draw in Sharpie too?
I would draw in pencil because we're going to go over these lines with the paint pen. So you want to do it in pencil first.
Okay.
Yeah. So mine's going to be a little bit different because I'm doing it in my Sharpie so they can see it on the other side. So I'm not going to go all the way around.
Is this big enough?
Yeah, I would do it. So make sure to do the other ones a little, like about the same size. So you want kind of like most of your paper to be the cactus. This is kind of like a barrel cactus. It's a little bit easier to draw.
How do you like that?
That looks good. Perfect. Kendra, how are you doing? All right. So next step is we're going to do is we're going to erase these parts here so that it looks like mine. So you're just going to erase this part here where it intersects. So this cactus at the bottom is kind of in front of this one. The second one kind of looks like a snowman actually at this point, like a topply snowman.
That's what I thought too. It looks like a snowman. Do you like my ghost dress?
Yes, that is very cool. Very festive. All right, so our next step is we're going to draw some lines in each cactus. Because if you remember the examples that I showed you, she had a lot of different like colors inside of each one of her like objects. So her cactuses and her flowers, they all have different colors. So we need to draw some lines so that we can have some spaces to put those. So in each one, we're going to draw 2 lines, 2 curved lines. They don't have to be exactly like mine. Kind of breaking up each of those sections of the cactus into 3. We're going to have 3 different parts of each part of the cactus. If that makes sense.
I made a mistake.
That's okay. So if you did it in a pencil, you can just go ahead and back and erase it. And we are going to be coloring these in and then going over them if you have the gold, with your gold Sharpie on top of that pencil. Or if you don't have a gold Sharpie, you can go over with the black Sharpie. So Kendra, if you don't have gold, you can use black. Yep, that looks great. Kendra, how are you doing?
You like this?
Yes, that is very good. All right, I'm trying to see. All right, our next step is we're going to draw some of the ground. So you can see I added 3 lines and we're going to go behind the cactus. So we're going to start on the left side of our paper. And when we hit the cactus, we're going to jump through the cactus and extend that line through. I'm going to draw 3 lines.
Do I have to do 3 lines?
We're going to do 3 lines because we wanted to have we're going to have a theme of 3 going on with this drawing. So we're going to have 3 different parts of the ground, 3 parts of each cactus, and 3 parts of the background. Actually, we'll have 4 of the background, but so you're going to draw 3 lines for the ground part. Yep, looks good. right, Kendra. All right, next up is we're going to draw the sun. So we have our cactus over here. We're going to put our sun up at the top right. And we're just going to draw another circle for our sun. And then again, we're going to want to break our sun into 3 parts. So we're going to draw 2 lines, just like we did with our cactus. So Jaden has just joined us. Jaden, if you can try to catch up to where we have our drawing. We've drawn parts of a cactus. We have a circle, 3 circles for our cactus. We've broken it up into 3 parts. We have a sun up here, and we have 3 lines down here. And I'm going to pause for a little bit so Jaden can get caught up.
It needs to be 3 lines on the sun?
You're just going to draw 2 lines.
Then why do you do 3?
Excuse me. So I just have the 1 line and that line there. Excuse me. So next we're going to draw 3 lines for the background. So we have 1 here, 2, and 3. And these are going to be curved lines again.
Okay, I'm done. Wait, hold on.
Kind of like that. All right, so we have our drawing here.
Hey, hold on, I'm not done so bad.
Oh, that's okay. I thought you guys got caught up. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Looks good. Great. All right, so we have our drawing. I'm actually going to jump over to our drawing. That we have here, and we're going to kind of color this in order. So the first thing we're going to color is our sun. So I have 3 different color yellow crayons that I picked up. If you don't have 3 different yellows, you can just use yellow and orange. It'll be fine.
Use crayons or marker?
You can use crayons. Yeah.
Do I do the whole thing yellow?
Yeah, so we're just gonna do this, we're gonna do the sun. So each section, you're gonna wanna do a different color. If you have different colors.
Or should I do green, yellow on the other side?
Yeah, as long as it's kind of, yeah, you want it to look like a sun still.
That's my sun.
Looks great. Perfect.
All the lines that we drew with pencils, are we gonna go over with the Sharpie?
Yes, at the very end. All right, so we have our sun. Next, we're gonna do our ground. So our ground is gonna be blue.
Why?
So again, so this is kind of like Twilight. So when it turns to nighttime, the ground kind of looks dark.
Do I do light blue or dark blue?
You can do if you have 3 different shades, that'd be good. If not, you can just use a couple.
I only have these 2 different blues.
Okay, well, you can do just 2 different then and do your different areas.
I forgot which one's the ground and which one's the background.
Oh, that's okay. So just on mine, I kind of have like this area here. It should be 3. So if you count up 3, so 1, 2, 3, and that should be where your ground is.
It has 3 lines.
Yeah, so I have this like part here. This will be like my first part. This will be my second part, and this will be my third part here.
Hold on, one of my crayons fell. Oh no. And then with the ground.
All right, so if you finish your blue, we're gonna move on to the cactus next. So you can start coloring in the cactus. Let me see. That looks great. So the cactus, again, you could just do different colors of green, however many color green you have.
These are the colors of green I have.
Oh, that'll work. Yep, you can even do markers and crayons together. I think actually that'll be kind of cool.
I'll do all greens.
You should do all greens. So if you have,
These are mine.
oh, Jaden, that looks perfect. Yep, you have 3 different greens. So you can do each section. So this is our big bottom section of the cactus. You can do a light green, a medium green, and a dark green. I have my 3 greens here.
Teacher,
Yes,
a little mistake.
that's okay. You know what? You can turn it into a flower, maybe.
Or maybe I could just try to make the circle bigger right there.
Sure, that'll work. Yep, in art, you just don't really have mistakes. You just have little accidents that turn into something different.
That
Looks good. Great. Jaden, that looks great.
Thank you. Let's get started on my other one.
So I don't know if anyone has showed you before, but it's kind of hard to see with this light color. Let me get my darker green here. When you're coloring, you can color the outside of which you have a shape. You color it like around the lines, like that, and then you go ahead and fill it in. And that kind of prevents you from coloring outside of the lines. So like for this one, I'm going to go around where the lines are. Kind of like this. Leave the inside white. And then I have around where the outline is, I can go ahead and fill it in. That's kind of a way of, when you color, you can just prevent them staying inside the lines. That looks great, Constance. Awesome. Also, you notice that I'm using one color at a time instead of going back and forth. I like to do that sometimes, especially when you're painting. If you keep switching colors, you got to keep having to wash your brush off and everything, and it just makes it a little bit faster. Then you know what colors that you've used. And I have light green here. Also, if I'm doing a big area, especially with my crayons, I'll go one way. So I'll go sideways like this. I'll go back up and down, back across it. That'll fill in all those little white spaces. Especially with crayon, it kind of leaves always a little bit of little white in between that wax of the crayon.
I don't know why I think that's supposed to be blue, but it is.
All right, I'm almost done with my cactus. And then we're gonna do our sunset in a specific order, actually. So it kind of looks more like a realistic sunset. So if you ever notice that when a sunset is going down, it starts from light when it's closer to the ground, and as it gets higher up in the sky, it gets darker. So I have picked out, I have an orange, so I want you to pick out an orange, a red, a purple, and a dark blue or a black.
Red, purple, and a blue. Yeah, this is black. Red. Black. Okay. My bubbles covers the crayons.
All right, so we're gonna start. Jaden, how are you? And Kendra, are you guys good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, Jaden.
Or can I use marker?
You use marker, it doesn't matter. Yep. I think actually using marker and crayon will look pretty cool. I kind of wish I had some markers now. All right, so we're gonna start with our orange. So we're gonna go from lightest to darker. Darkest.
I have two.
So at the where we have, this is our ground, where ground is, and this is gonna be our sky. Again, I just like to color in around the outlines. Yeah,
Are you doing the background?
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing the background?
Yes, so this is like the sky. This is the background of the sky. And this one I want to keep, so I have this part here, I want to keep kind of the color going across. So these bottom shapes, I want it to be orange. Great. And then the next one, we're going to want to do red.
What time is the Zoom supposed to end?
I think we go to 11:15.
It's 11:01.
Yep, so that would be about perfect. So once we finish our background, then we'll just do the gold. And we'll have our awesome artwork finished.
Can you tell that there's a red marker there and red crayon?
I don't know. Crayon and marker will mix next to each other. You can try it out though.
Look. Can you tell that there's crayon and marker right there?
A little bit, but I think it works. It looks good. All right, so after red, we're gonna do purple.
The feeling.
You're gonna
Oh,
write
I forgot. Oh, done.
lightest to darkest.
On the purple, you can definitely tell it's the marker and crayon. Next is going to be black.
Yep, and the last is black. This is kind of like we go all the way up to the space. Space is black, so. Okay, so we have our cactus, which has 3 different greens in it. We have our ground, which our ground is just blue because when we have like sunset, the ground kind of looks blue. We kind of get a whole rainbow. But we want to use every single color of the rainbow. That's kind of why we use blue at the bottom.
I have too many things.
Oh, that's it. So you can just fill in, customers, you can fill in the rest with like some red to purple, I think would work.
Like go in a pattern of those colors?
Yes, I would do purple at the top and red, you can like mix them together. Kind of like what we did in our brand lesson. Or you can do blue at the top too.
So let's get creative.
Yeah.
Extra lines. Okay, I'll be creative with extra lines.
So we have all of our colors here, and the last thing that we need to do is put our gold on it in between. So I've drawn mine with Sharpie so that you guys can see what I was drawing. So when I do the gold over it, it doesn't show up very well. But I do have the one that I did, actually my son did yesterday, and I will show you what that looks like. So you're gonna go over the lines. So like where I have my Sharpie, where you did the pencil.
I'll finish all the lines once I'm done. Once we're done with Zoom, or if we had some extra time after the Sharpie.
Yep, once you're done, you can do the Sharpie. So this is kind of like what it will look like when you do the Sharpie. So this one was actually done with markers, and the Sharpie went back over it. Or I have a paint pen, actually. So I'll let you guys finish up. Kendra, how are you doing? Are you doing good? And Jaden, how's it going, Jaden? Good, awesome. Cactus is finishing her up. If you guys finish up, you can let me know and I can show it here as yours on the screen. You can spotlight yours.
Let's see how it looks.
Oh, it looks good. So do you want to just finish that, fill that white space in all the way?
I only have a couple lines left. You like mine?
Now, this is what we have to work on. So let's see what were his areas. So right
Jada, that looks great. I'm going to show yours.
He needs to develop negative rational numbers, positive rational numbers. So this is what I
see if I can add yours up here.
My Excel guides to work.
Jenny, can you show me yours? Let me see if I can get yours up on the screen. All right, Jaden, what does yours look like? Can you show it up to the screen?
This works. And so, you're right, I think my brushes.
Jaden, can you put yours up? I have you spotlighted.
This is some of the skills that we're looking at right now.
You had it up before.
In solving word problems and determining whether like linear equation inequality is true. So this is some of the skills that are being developed in Excel. So,
I only have one more thingy to fill in.
Well, there's like no surprises in any of that, primarily because we know the routine when they take
Did you get it in there?
trying to retake tests and they request retakes. It's usually because they failed the first one, they don't want to go back and watch the lesson, they take it again. So that's just something for you to kind
I
of
can all the lines.
if you hear that without me catching it, it's probably the red flag.
Constance, I spotted yours live. Right. Awesome.
Yeah,
I try to be very creative with a bunch of colors.
I like it. And now you can go over with your Sharpie and outline those in between those lines. Yep.
class by yourself 3 times.
That's a smart. That's really good.
I do all of the background lines.
Yeah, every line that you drew with pencil, you can draw. So you can see on this one, kind of have every single line that we did. So each one inside of the cactus, each background line that you drew in.
Teacher, are you done with your Sharpie?
Yeah, so I had black Sharpie, and when I do like the gold paint pen over it, it doesn't really show up over the black. It actually kind of ruins my paint pen.
That's why I should use a pencil.
Yeah, I should.
And then you run over with the Sharpie.
Yeah, unfortunately, if I use pencil for you guys, the pencil does not show up on this camera.
Yeah.
So that's why I have to use Sharpie when I draw for you guys. It's kind of showing up actually, a little bit. Although you can't really see it on my camera. I need to get a better camera.
Mr. Ludwig, what I didn't know is that my sister was following along with me, and this is her so far.
Oh, that looks really good. Love it. Yeah, my fake pen kind of works. All right. All right, Constance, you want to show it really quick what you have?
Yes.
All right, that looks awesome. Very
That was a
cool.
good line.
Yep, very awesome. All right, so we're at about 11:15. So I hope you guys, I hope you guys had fun for our cool cactus landscape drawing. Can't really, sunset, there we go. Awesome, Jaden. That looks so cool. So I hope you guys have an awesome fall break. It'll be good to have a couple weeks off. I hope you guys are doing something fun. And we'll be back in a couple weeks, and we'll have another Zoom lesson. And also just a reminder that we do have some in-person lessons if you want to come into the resource rooms too. So, all right, I hope you guys have a good fall break, and I will see you in a couple weeks. All right, bye guys. Oh,
I'm done.
all right. That looks awesome, Constance. And Jaden, yours looks so cool. That looks awesome. Kendra, do you want to share this really quick? No. All right. All right, you guys have a good fall break. I will see you in a couple weeks. All right.
Bye,
Bye,
Mr. Ludwig.
Bye.
Bye.